Welcome to Real Talk, Real Advice and Real Difference. I'm your host, Nathan Najib, and in this podcast we bring you conversations from leading experts with experience, stories and advice to help you become a better person, a better agent, and help the community and the industry for the better.
Wow, I'm so excited to have you, Arabella Hooper, one of the most amazing female Australian real estate agent in the whole of Australia. I think one of the best in my opinion, definitely in South Australia. Arabella is what's inspirational about you, and I wanted you to come and talk to our audiences because it's a thing that you've got to, if you've got kids, then you've got to work part-time, which is okay, but you can also work part-time, run an amazing business like you do, and have a beautiful family life. Tell me a little bit more about you, Arabella, before I start asking you a whole lot of questions.
So I sell houses in the Adelaide Hills, which is sort of 30 minutes out of the Adelaide CBD. And we sell acreage properties, farms, as well as luxury homes, even down to sort of units. So we sell a broad section of houses, and I work in a team of 4. So 1 PA and 2 co-agents. And we're currently the number 1 female agent in Adelaide.
Wow. Amazing, because our goal with this podcast is to bring people to have real conversation, give real advice, and people who have actually done things. Because today with social media, like, we follow somebody who's not a proper role model. The most important thing, in my opinion, is like you've got to find the right role models. If you've got kids, you got to see what Arabella Hooper is doing in Australia to run an amazing business. Now, tell me, we're gonna. I texted Phil Harris today, and I said, "Tell me a little bit about Bill, because I'm excited. I'm interviewing her today in our podcast." And Phil says, "That's you, Bill, a lady that fits more in her life than anybody I know. 4 kids, married, sells an amazing amount of properties. Don't know how she does it. One of the most reliant people I know, and has shown great strength during time of adversity like we've had over the past couple of months now, or 3 months now." We will start from the outside, Arabella. We'll start from the outside. Tell me what is into your business coming. We start from outside, come into your business. How you run such an amazing life, the importance of working for an organization like Harris, and a forward-thinking leader like Phil Harris. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So probably when Phil and I worked together at our previous employer, and then Phil went out on his own, and he was trying to recruit me for a while, and I was like, not so sure on you. It's a pink brand. I don't think pink resonates with me. And then I really realized that in order to grow, that I needed to have a better support engine behind me. Mm-hmm. And I was longing to have somebody to guide and support my business, to help my business become a business, as opposed to just Arabella Hooper selling houses. And I think that's been the big mental shift. It is now Arabella Hooper Proprietary Limited. It is not Arabella Hooper, a salesperson, and I just go to work. So the difference in your mental shift of going, okay, this is now a business. I have employees that I'm now responsible for. We have a plan, and where is our business going to be in the next 12 months, 24 months, 36 months? How are we going to get there? What are the big key items that we need to address in order to get to those goals? So instead of just having we'll set a financial target and hope we get it each year, it was more like those financial targets are set for 3 years in a row. How are we going to strategically, what do we need behind us in order to get to those goals? And along with that comes a whole lot of structure, and we have a very good business plan, a very good business model, and Phil Harris helps us and guides us through that.
Yeah. So a structured business plan that helps you go to places like these are places that you're heading to, and you've got people who are responsible helping you get there. That's your team. You've built an amazing team, and also so much support from Harris Real Estate to help you and guide you get there, right? And huge support.
Yeah.
Amazing. Great. And tell me about your team. I know you said you got four members in your team. If you would please just let us know a little bit more about your team and how they work.
Yeah. So part of coming over to Harris was really nutting out what I think when you engage a PA to start with, sometimes you just get more mess because you're naturally, as a leader and a salesperson, you're a bit of a control freak, and you kind of want to take control of everything, and you kind of can't let go of some key duties. And what happens is you end up overlapping on roles because your roles aren't clearly mapped. So the biggest thing I think when you're starting to build a team is to actually have those absolute roles nailed. So what are your key responsibilities? What are your daily tasks? What are your weekly tasks, monthly tasks? What does that look like? And then it's a set and forget. And having those roles clearly mapped out and documented so that in the event, which does happen, that people leave your team, someone can plug into your team and know exactly what they need to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? So they know exactly what they need to do. And so you don't have that desperation when someone leaves you to just plug someone in and then don't have time to train them or anything like that. So first point is to make sure that if it's a PA role or it's a co-agent or it's a buyer manager, whatever that role is, those roles need to be very well mapped and documented so that you can plug someone in at any time. So I have a PA who's actually the team manager. So he actually manages us. He bosses me around. He's the one that holds us accountable, and he holds the vendors accountable, and he's the mover and the shaker, if you like, to keep the wheels moving.
Yeah.
Then we have a guy called Will Scott. He's a younger guy, and he's a co-agent, and he's really a lead generator, a backup salesperson, and he's there just trying to build his own CRM system and now his own service area separate to mine. So that's really his job.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have another girl, and she's been with me for quite some time. She started as a buyer manager, then a co-agent, back to a buyer manager, and now she sort of oscillates between the two. She has a real knack for looking after buyers so well that she builds such an amazing relationship with these buyers that I can't have that relationship with buyers like she does. So she has a real skill in our business to nurture those buyers and help them. So she's now working exclusively with buyers. So while she's a co-agent, she's also generating business through the buyer agents' fees. That's not quite very common over here, so that's quite a new thing for us. And then I just do the listing, selling, front of house stuff.
Yeah. You said that's quite a new stuff you do. Harris Real Estate, you guys are changing the way real estate is done in Adelaide, right?
Yeah, look, I think Phil is a very dynamic leader, and he is very much about building people, not building himself.
Love it.
And we just had a leadership day yesterday with the top 4 sales teams, and you know, the stuff he was teaching us was about sort of level 5 leadership, like how to lead your team and how to actually have a team and what a team constitutes. I think that layer of business planning or business training, for salespeople who are very good at what they do, but they're not very good at telling people how to do what they do, because their skill is in fact quite unique. But they're not born leaders. They're, you know, we often get off on the thrill of listing and selling houses, and that's all awesome, and we think we're legends. But at the end of the day, are we really leading our team? Are we really growing our individuals? Are we providing a platform for our team members so that they can do as well, if not better, with their lives? Absolutely. And so the way he is doing real estate is encouraging us to do it differently, which is, you're not a rock star, you're not a legend, you happen to be very skilled at what you do, but that doesn't make you legendary. And you therefore need to pull your head in and actually get back on the table and work out where you're actually going to have your business, because you've got potential to earn a lot more if you just knuckle down.
Absolutely. So look after you people, and the people look after your business and your customers, and the bank account will look after itself as well. It's important, isn't it, Bill, to have an organization that has got the systems, structure, everything behind to help you do that, because you just couldn't do it elsewhere, could you?
No, and I think, there's the difference between wanting to go out on your own and wanting to have a brand behind you.
Right.
Because, and I mean it literally. The brand is literally behind you. They support you. They are the ones that provide the platform for you to do well. And they should take over all of the management issues that you don't want to be involved with. And that's why you would stay in a company like that as opposed to going out on your own. I feel like the way Harris has built their model, the only incentive for you to go and start your own business is if you just have that burning desire that you want your own brand.
Yeah, because everything is taken care of.
Everything is taken care of. Yeah.
Amazing, because most agencies, you just turn up there, here's a desk, make phone calls, like me and you started 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not sure how long you've been in the business, Bill, but 15 years ago when I got into the business, it was, well, here's your desk. And still in Christchurch, in New Zealand, majority of places, that's exactly how businesses work. And then we wonder why people fail and drop out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. So, I feel like we're lucky, very lucky to have him.
Yeah, you're amazing. I know how much he appreciates you as well. Tell me now, double clicking on you, what you do. If you tell us about your ideal day, because your ideal day will be different than somebody else's ideal day, because you run with 4 kids, and I admire that.
Yeah, look, I think probably, for women, I've always said for women it's a lot harder. They're actually better skilled than men, and they're actually potentially better salespeople than men. But women have this problem. They literally have to have the child. And, men can be the facilitator, but they're not actually the one that's actually having to bear the birth, right? And the problem is that innate stress level, sorry, I just had a dog walk into my room. This is what we do, we multitask. Is, for women, we, hang on. I tell you what, they're worse than children. For women, we just have this issue where we feel like we have this guilt thing that we have to be present as a mum. But then I also have this burning desire that I just want to be the best of the best. And balancing that is really, really hard. So it's not about working part-time. It's actually just about working smarter. Yeah. So I work a 5-day week. And the idea of that is my day is not dissimilar to everybody else's. It's just that I have to pack more in. Yeah. So everyone has a morning routine. And I don't know what your morning routine looks like, but I know Phil Harris's, right? He's wake up at 5 a.m., go to the gym, come home at 6 and his wife can go to the gym. And then he gets himself ready and then he goes off to work, right? He looks after the kids while he does that. For me, it's like 5 a.m., I'm getting up, but I'm not going to the gym for myself. I'm taking kids to sport.
Right.
And then I'm coming home and I'm like getting ready to go to work, and then I'm firing them off to school. And then I'm still in the office by 7:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'm still there for my 8 a.m. meeting. So 8 a.m. meeting, our meeting is 8:30. 8 a.m. is to get into the office, to get clear all your emails, do all that sort of stuff. 8:30 is your team meeting. Team meetings at 8:30, 8:30 till 9, and then you're doing your prospecting, 9 to 11. And then in the afternoon, you're going out to appointments. Except that in the afternoon, sometimes I need to ferry children around. So, I'm having to balance that in. What I do well, though, is that I have a clear, distinct on and off time. So I'm on. We work Sundays for opens in the hills. It just works better. So Sunday to Thursday is on, and that's work. Right. Friday and Saturday, it's home stuff. Now, that doesn't mean I do nothing. Clearly, there's still deals and things that sometimes need to be wrapped up, like there is today. And sometimes, invariably, you have to do team planning and business training and those sorts of things on Fridays. So it is sometimes compromised. But inadvertently, you need to make sure that you absolutely have time. And that's the one thing men don't do well.
Okay.
Because they think in real estate they need to work 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And they also need to hit their 60 calls a day and the whatever and the whatever and the whatever.
Yeah.
And in the end, they, don't spend time with their wives or their partners. Yeah. They don't have time just to do nothing. They don't have time just to do whatever. So whilst they might have more, I call it selfish time, where they can go off to the gym by themselves and do all that sort of stuff and then get home at 10 o'clock at night and feel justified because they're a male. And, and I can do that. A woman can still do that, but can still manage to get kids around, cook dinner, do all those sorts of things and still get home and then have the house clean. So I feel like we are better skilled at putting more into our days. And there's nothing I can teach you around that. What I can say to you is that you have to have, whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter whether you've got kids or not. And in fact, for most people without children who are young, who are starting up in this business, you need to have some days off. It's healthy. So I guess I've just put it, and I always did do that. Even when I had babies, they would sleep under the desk in my office, I must admit. But, they're not at that level now, and they don't have to do that now. My business is at a different level now too. But you have to have those 2 days. That's all. So it's not part-time. It's literally just a full-time job, just better managed.
Absolutely. So we all get the 24 hours. It's just how we manage it. And I admire you, having 4 kids and running such an amazing business. So I really respect that for sure. Tell me, how old are the kids?
They are now 13, 12, 10, and 9.
Okay.
And they're all girls.
Okay, all girls. And how long you been in the business, Belle?
I started in 2006.
Yeah.
But I started in admin. I started in sales in 2008.
Right. And I'm assuming when you joined Harris, it was just you as a salesperson, solo salesperson, right?
No, I came over with 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you built this amazing team around you with the system in place. That's why you're so productive.
Yeah. So I think probably what I found different from where my business was when I came over to where it is now is the clear distinction between who does what. And that has changed my world, really, workspace. Yeah.
Sure. You talked about having days off, and I totally agree with you. We kind of getting things mixed up. We think if we're a real estate and we've got to work 24/7, the reality is you need time for yourself. Like if it's early in the morning, you got to have a day or 2 days off. Now you take Friday and Saturday off and work 5 days, and you work 5 days. You said when you're at work, you're at work. When you're at home with the kids and family.
That's right. So, I think it's probably no different to everybody else. It's just that I know a lot of people won't give themselves even just one full day.
Yeah.
And I just think learning to say no to someone is a very powerful thing, and you need to learn to do that quite early in your career. You're not necessarily available all the time. It's not fair to be available all the time. Yeah.
That no is a beautiful word, I think. And if you don't say... if you don't do that, then you just burn out. It's just we are like, if you service, I say that to my team, if you service your car every 3 months or every 2 months, you've got to look after yourself, maintain yourself too.
Yeah, you do. Well, and I think it's healthy. You need a bit of a break every now and then, and you need to book a few holidays. Right now, that's tricky. I'm finding that. Normally I'm away for 2 weeks in July, but we can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's like over there, but we're not allowed we're allowed to stay within our state, but we're not allowed to go outside of our state. It's freezing over here. You'd be freezing too, right?
It's pretty cold. It's raining outside. I think it was down further, slightly down from us. It was at -9 degrees. So we're not too far from there. We're a little bit colder than you guys.
Yeah. So, it's like those winter breaks, I always look forward to getting warm, but we can't this year. Anyway, we're all in the same boat. So, but, have your 2 holidays a year. I think that's really important. Go for 2 weeks, lock yourself up. Yeah.
You got to recharge the engine. You said you've got prospecting in the morning and appointments in the afternoon, AM and PM. If you will, please speak about that.
I think, that's I think the AM/PM structure now has been entrenched in the business for years. You'd agree with that. We hear it all the time. But I think it's just that commitment to actually make sure you are making the calls. For me, it's just about making 30 calls. If I can make 30 calls in that session in the morning, that doesn't include putting deals together and all those sorts of things. Just prospecting calls, and I block them into 45-minute sessions with the team. So we all block into that, and then we get a break to wrap up other loose ends, and then we go in again for that. And I just feel like that's just that structured time. And Phil was talking to us yesterday about the 20-mile analogy. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but have you heard of that, the 20-mile analogy?
Tell me more.
Essentially, it's an analogy where they're trying to walk to the North Pole, we'll call it that, and it's like, do we have this business? Do we have the approach where a team going to the North Pole? Do we have this approach that every day, depending on the weather, we'll walk as far as we can?
Yeah.
If it's cold or blizzardly or freezing or whatever, or if it's a clear day, we'll walk until it's dark or whatever that is. Or will we just agree that every day we're going to walk 20 miles, regardless of the weather? If it's good weather or bad weather, we're going to walk 20 miles. And at the end of that, we're going to use that time to rest, recharge, recoup, get ready for the next day. It's a great analogy. Your 20-mile analogy is, okay, what do you do every day, no matter what your mood is, no matter how stressed you are, no matter what crap's going down at home, whether you're fighting with your partner or your children are driving you nuts, or if everything's just out of control. There are days where things are just out of control for me at home, right? What do you know imprinted in your brain are 100% those 20-mile things that you need to achieve every day, doesn't matter what it is. And that is, get to the office at 8, start your meeting at 8:30, do prospecting calls 45 minutes before 11, go out and do at least 2 appointments, 4 appointments, 6 appointments, whatever that is. Go home, make sure you have dinner. What is your structure? So that it becomes entrenched in your brain, so much so that even if you're having a bad day, some deals have fallen over, you've lost some listings, you've just had a shit time, we've been through COVID, and you're worried about whether you're going to be able to afford to live, and whatever that is, what are those key things? Get yourself out of bed. You've got to be in the office by 8. What are you doing? Get out. You've got to do these things. Get into some form of rhythm. And that analogy is really powerful, particularly given what we are all faced with right now.
Yeah, I'm going to come to that in a minute because you're resilient. You are for sure. I heard great things about that too. Like human nature, like we naturally quite lazy. Like, but if you don't have systems, like structured day, like you said, then we tend to do the easiest thing, or we just okay to sleep in today. It's all right. Like, if I don't do prospecting today, it's okay. But it is the prospecting, the 30 calls a day, not one day, not 2 days, every day is going to make a difference. Yeah.
And even, I can't do 40 tomorrow because I've only done 20 today. Like, the 30 have to happen. I better make some calls. It's like dealing with somebody who has really bad mood swings. It's like you teach them just to do the same thing on repeat. But the thing is, if you do these basic things every day, you have a business for the next week, month, year, decade. And that is what we're building for. We're not building for tomorrow. We're building for the next decade. Love
it. Long-term relationship. I know you're big on that. I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. And you were saying that having that 30 calls, what the difference between an average agent and an agent that performs all the time consistently is that doing the hard thing consistently every day. Right, Belle?
Yeah, I think you've got to work out what your number is, right? For me, I have to work out, and I said this to Phil not long ago, and I have got a lot more going on in my life than most others. That doesn't make me special. That just is my life. That's my normal life, so deal with it, right? What can you manage?
Mm-hmm.
If it's 30, it's 30 for me. So that's fine. If I didn't have 4 kids and all this other, anyway, don't worry about it. Don't need to know about that. It might be 50. Whatever that number is, doesn't matter. You set it. You set what you want. You achieve that. That's how you're going to get there.
Yeah, great. And you specialize in this area called Adelaide Hills, as you said, and you've built an amazing reputation. And I know you do a lot for the community. Talk to us about the community involvement and giving back and building the long-term relationship.
I think probably, so I'm not sure what your environment is there, but for us in the Adelaide Hills, they're all small communities. So everyone is of a village mindset. So I think a lot about what you do in my job is to build that real relationship. So not the cold calling kind of slapdash, annoy the shit out of these people, right?
That's a general salesperson. Normal salesperson, that's what they do, right? But if you want to build a long-term relationship, then it's
you need to have that real relationship. So even just to go to the coffee shop, it is to allow for another 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So because invariably you'll catch up with 5 clients there.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that should be your prospecting, because it isn't. But what it does is it solidifies the validity of your relationship to that person. So wherever you are, a coffee shop's relevant because we all do it, right? If it's a school drop-off, I used to think, oh, can you get out of my car, go into school? I don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to get to work. I then learned just to wind down the window and just give them 2 minutes, just 2, and go, okay, talk to a few people, just solidify those relationships. It doesn't matter whether it's a coffee shop or if it's a school or if it's whatever your core area is, be present. Mm-hmm. So just be present. It doesn't mean you have to be someone that goes to the pub every night. But even still, I caught up with a client at the pub last night. You call them pubs, right?
We call them pubs, yeah.
Yeah. So at the pub to give them a settlement present, I'm moving interstate, and I sat in a spot, not deliberately, but now that I think about it, probably was deliberate. But there would have been 20 people that are clients of mine that walked past me.
Yeah.
And it's literally just to say hello. Like, g'day, how you going? How's your day? Blah, 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 blah. And then you're back with your client. And I'm not suggesting you should become an alcoholic, but, sometimes just being in your community is valuable and probably more valuable than sponsoring the football club or the netball club or the whatever club you have, right?
Yeah.
I do that. But the sports that I support, I'm involved with. Yeah. So I just don't go and get a banner somewhere. I actually have my children playing. Or if you're not like that, and if I was more able, I would play.
Yeah.
So whatever that is, there's no point in throwing money at something unless you're actually going to be in it. Yeah. So the value is in the time you give to people, not the contribution financially you might make. So community, I think what that does is real relationships beat database chasers.
100%. Like, nobody wants to deal with that old school snake oil salesperson. Yeah. People deal with people who are authentic, who are nice, and really, really care about the community, really care about have a good conversation with people rather than thinking about, okay, when can I sell your house?
Yeah, and I think also, though, you must remember that doesn't allow you to stop doing your 20-mile job.
Sure.
And I think that's where some people go, oh, she must just go out and talk to people and she doesn't make calls. That's how she does it. Well, no, you have to have both.
Yeah. So the prospecting is a must. You still be involved in the community. Just be a decent human being. You guys, you are big in education as well, and learning. An avid learner, if you will. I've seen you in many conferences. I've seen you speak at Eric. And tell me about the importance of becoming the best, because you did say you want to be best for the best.
Yeah.
And one of them would be, I'm assuming, it's ongoing learning and education.
Yeah. So I think for me, you're never ever the best. So, I say I want to be the best of the best, but that's an idealism that's not possible, right?
Right.
Because there's always going to be something you're going to be able to learn.
Yeah.
So I think you have to have that burning desire to sharpen up.
Yeah.
Just sharpen up.
Yeah.
And, give yourself that time. Every quarter, every 6 months, every year. Give yourself the time to sharpen, to actually go through your processes. We did it last Friday. We went through every process. How do you put up an open flag on an open flag? How do you set up your open inspection? What's your checklist? You actually stuck at that because you don't do it every time. Like, we're sharpening up. Like, you have to be able to have that time to reflect upon your business. And if you're going to learn, that's fine. Go learn. But don't learn if you don't implement. Like, implementation is massive for me. Yeah. And so Eric, I love Eric. Every year it's like this commitment for me that Eric is a place I'll go to absorb ideas. Yeah. And, I only ever bring 1 or 2 back. But there's a lot more I could, but I only ever bring 1 or 2 back. We have, training with Josh Vegan over here, with Harris. Phil trains us all the time, as well as many other trainers, but I'm always the first to go to all of those. Yeah.
So an avid learner you are. Now, with you were strained through the COVID-19. Obviously, it's hard time for a lot of people, for all of us, at some to a certain degree. Now, tell me, how did you handle this? How you're dealing with it now?
We weren't shut down like you, but we were very much restricted, and it made it very hard. And I've got to say to you, it felt like Groundhog Day when the government announcement came through. And I honestly, my heart sunk, and I thought, holy hell, what am I going to do? Like, how are we going to get through this? I went through and I forecast how much longer I had income for, how long I could pay my staff if I sold nothing. I went through our household budget, and I went through it with my family, and we all went through everything, and we're like, what can we strip out? We all did that, right?
Yeah.
And then I allowed myself half a day to feel like crap. And then I was like, you know what? Now is a brilliant time in real estate. Because a lot of legendary rock star real estate agents will not make a dime right now, and I am going to clean up.
Yeah.
And so I flipped my mentality to the phone's dead. No one's ringing. No one can buy a house, or it's very difficult to buy a house. Certainly no one's selling a house. I need to flip this on its lid. So I went through the core things that we have to do in real estate. Prospect, list, sell.
Yeah.
I went through my stock list. What can I reduce? What can I get virtual tours on? What can I get a buyer to commit to? And then I went through all of that and cleaned out my whole stock list. Who's not motivated, got them off my list. Cleaned it all up. Then what I did was, I recognized that I was finding it difficult to bring properties to market.
Yeah.
But I had a whole lot of buyers that still needed to buy a house.
Yeah, sure. So
I was like, okay, if I can't get the vendor to go to market, I'll take the buyer to them.
Yeah.
So I went through all of our buyers. We rang them and rang them and rang them until we knew exactly, precisely what they wanted. Not a blanket, precisely. I then went through everything that I'd ever appraised, and we just started doing deals off market.
Off-market deals, amazing.
Not listing to prospect through the database.
Right.
Literally taking the buyer to them. It's a very big difference.
Yeah.
And then we started to see over here, there's so many buyers and not enough houses. So we're doing deals.
Yeah.
We also know we've got a different stimulus package for you guys, that we have a different stimulus package. We also know that come October, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
So now the strategy then flips. Okay, we know in October we're in trouble. We need to bring properties to market. Fast track the vendor's plans. Ring everyone and say the market is not looking great long term. You need to fast forward your plans. So we fast forwarded their launch.
Which is best for the vendors, obviously. Like, you see this, if you bring it forward, the market is still good. We don't know what's going to happen in October, but probably it's going to go down because the stimulus package is going to be finished. So if you're thinking about selling, let's go to the market sooner than later, yeah?
Yeah, and we've seen some unreal transactions coming through.
Amazing,
So,
yeah.
And so, I think you need to, it doesn't matter if it's COVID. It doesn't matter if it's a divorce. It doesn't matter if you've got sickness. It doesn't matter if you're broke. It doesn't matter what is going wrong in your life.
Yeah.
There are some core things you have to do every day.
As an agent, that's what you have to do. Doesn't matter what's happening, leave that outside and do the thing that needs to be done.
Get your mind so focused to what actually needs to occur that you forget all the noise. And you have to cut the crap. Like the noise, the news, the press releases, the blanket COVID cases, who cares?
Yeah.
You trade in what's happening right now.
Sure.
Trade in what you know and what you can control. You can't control what's going to happen in the next 6, 9, 12 months. We can't control a second wave. We can't control a vaccine. We can't control any of it. So don't worry about it. Forget it. Just trade. And, my mentality became just trade. The same thing is now when stuff goes wrong. I bought a house. I'm putting my house on the market. It's a nightmare. I don't have enough time. Ridiculous. Why would you do that? You're an idiot. You've got 4 kids. You're making your life really uncomfortable. How dumb are you, right? That's what my brain says.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm like, you still need to list and sell houses.
Yeah.
It's like logically get back into your groove.
Yeah, and help these people that needs to be sold. If these people want to get their property sold and they like, obviously, the real estate transaction, fortunately or unfortunately, it's got to go through. People go through divorces. Unfortunately, people die and people need to sell because of financial difficulties. So, and our job is, like your job is, to help these people move forward, right?
Yeah, and also, people look to you as a person of knowledge.
Yeah.
And they want you to guide them. They need their hand held. We see that all the time, even more so now.
Yeah.
Use your skills for the better of the client. Mm-hmm. And there's the difference. Not for your bank account, for the better of the client.
Love it, yeah.
And the better of the client means that they have such trust in you that when you actually do the deal with them, that they are 100% on the vessel with you.
Yeah.
And that is where the power is, and that's where it comes back to how you build those relationships. And that's really difficult when you haven't been in the industry for a long time. But if you're just a good person, it's not that hard.
Yeah, love it. Sure. And you're a beautiful person. I can tell. I look forward to meeting you personally and having a conversation with you. Absolutely. Now, tell me, if you were starting, getting in the business, I know you're busy. It's your day off. Actually, you're at home. You probably got a lot of work to do. So I won't take much of your time. But if you just let us know, what would you do if you were to start in the business today? You've got 4 kids, Belle. You just got into real estate.
The biggest thing I would do is absolutely make sure that I was in a team. When I started, they weren't really a thing. Nowadays they are, and they're so common. If I was a green person coming into the industry, no matter whether I was young, old, or in the middle somewhere, I would get myself in a team. I feel like the benefit of that is that you just learn the trade so much quicker and faster. Mm-hmm. And then, just focus on your area.
Mm-hmm. So get in a team and get yourself an area, yeah?
So get in a team, get in an area, and have a plan in place that is consistent. I think the thing that I did wrong, because I didn't know, is I didn't come into real estate with money.
But you wouldn't know, though, if you get into the business, a real estate agent who's never been in a business, they wouldn't know. It's the company's responsibility, in my opinion, right, to give them that systems and structure like you guys have at Harris.
But I feel like if you went and started, if you decided you wanted to run a fish and chip shop, you have to buy the business.
Yeah.
You have to know that you've got to support yourself for 6 months, 12 months without making a profit.
Right.
In real estate, people get their ticket. It's so easy.
Yeah.
And they come in with nothing.
Yeah.
And the problem is they expect to make money out of nothing.
Just like this, and it takes at least 6 months. It took me 6 months to do my first sale. I'm not sure how long it took you.
Yeah,
So,
well, I think the thing is that if you just even had 10 grand,
yeah,
you could come in. It's a cheap business to buy. If you came in with 10 grand, that's probably set your marketing up for 12 months.
yeah,
And just by power of information and frequency of information allows for you to be considered when the client goes to sell. And you just need to be considered at the start. So I think have some money behind you, not massive, but as a real estate professional now, if someone comes to me and they want to be a real estate agent, I'm like, you absolutely can, and I believe you can, but you need to have some money. And they look at you like, what the hell are you talking about?
yeah.
Like, oh, this is a business you're buying into. They don't see it. They see it as a job. I feel like that would allow, and we see that when we hear people talk at Arex that haven't been in the industry for long and they've made good money. They've made good money because they were probably quite talented, but they invested.
Yeah.
So you can't make something out of nothing. Or you can, but it's going to take a really long time.
Right.
If you want to create wealth, you need to invest.
Yeah.
And so a new person, come into a team, get a core area, invest in your business.
Yeah.
And then the 20 mile, just become your daily.
Yeah. So you would do, just to summarize that, like you will come into the business, ideally get into a team, work your core area, the area that you're going to work on, build your brand, and have some money, because it's a business you're getting into, and you need, when you get into a business, it's at least 6 months financials to be able to support yourself, because if you're like me, it will take you 6 months to make a first sale. So,
and that's deflating. Like, it's hard work. I always said to make good money in real estate, you need to give yourself at least 2 years to even start earning good money. The first year, you're probably not going to earn much.
Yeah.
But if you invest, that'd be different. So, and if you've got the right, and be with a brand that you've got the training, be disciplined enough to learn, be open to learn, and be skilled enough to just stay in a rhythm.
I love it, Belle. I really appreciate that. This thing is gonna go viral. I'm sure a lot of people, because there's a lot of agents here who work. Most, like 80% of agents, without exaggeration, 80% of agents here in Christchurch work part-time, and if they got a kid, they think it's just not doable. Well, you have the living proof. You got 4 kids, and you still have got an amazing business. Hey, Bill, thank you very much. I look forward to catching up with you in person.
Pleasure.
And I appreciate your time. Have a great.
No worries.